I said, Bridgeport was pressing a little bit in the beginning, but they've really come on of late. That was a great move by Phillips, creating the shot underneath the basket.
Showing their athleticism down along that baseline. Frazier showed us he can get up court earlier. And now they're opening it up a little bit, Bridgeport, handling the ball better, and they built a 19-14 lead after the Knights had hung on to a 14-13 lead. So 6 in a row for the Knights and of the purple variety, and the Knights of the red and black variety called that timeout there.
It can get confusing at times.
Boy, I'll tell you get your Knights confused with your Knights. Maybe we should throw a few days in there, too.
And then on the same conference, you have the Malloy Lions and the Dowling Golden Lions.
That's right, the Golden Lions. You're right.
You might have to find some new nicknames.
I think it's a good thing St. Rose is not in this conference anymore because they were the Golden Knights. There's a jumper by Khalif Alakat from 3. No good. Rebound. It's taken off and put in by Gerald Eugene, who did a very nice job before. No, that was Tull. Excuse me, Greg Tull. I misidentified him. Beg your pardon on that. All right, Tull gets his first field goal. 19-16. And to work go the Bridgeport Purple Knights again, and Demetrius Phillips. He's very able around that basket, is he not?
Absolutely. He's only averaging 6.3 points per game, but
you wouldn't know that tonight.
Yeah, you wouldn't know by watching him so far.
9 minutes to go in this first half. Leander finds a path to the basket and puts it in his first bucket of the night. And the Knights are back within 3, 21-18. The Knights lead the Purple Knights on the night. Here's Stennis between the circles, passing it cross court to Frazier. Frazier in the middle of Boykin. They go in the corner, lining it up and knocking it short with Steve Martin, but Stennis is on that rebound. Stennis double-teamed and lost the ball in the lane, and here's Alakat up with it. Feeds Lacayo. Lacayo all the way to the bucket, got fouled. And the Knights took it away inside on Stennis and turned that into an opportunity up court. Getting back was Boykin. He picks up his second foul. That's something the Knights want to do at every opportunity tonight. If you turn that defense into offense, it becomes a little bit easier on you.
And with Boykin will probably have to come out after this free throw.
First one good by Adil Lacayo, who has 4 points now for the Queens Knights. And Lacayo on the year, as we look over at the stat sheet, came in shooting them 63%. So not one of the better foul shooters on the club, but he makes those two nicely. 21-20. It's a 1-point Bridgeport lead. Ooh. And they come in the front court, and there was a little contact there. Washington held the ball and threw it on the sideline for Stennis, and now they pop it up top in their offense to Frazier. Wing it along the left. They go into Teairez Stennis. He got the basket. Nice entry pass in there to Teairez.
And a good job by Stennis coming to the ball and getting there before the defender could.
That was Marquise Moore who made that pass. 23-20. Lacayo, and he's dead on with a 3 there, tying up the ball game.
The defense lost track of Lacayo, and he had all day to shoot that. And when you get that much time, good chance you're going to hit that.
Adil has shown more confidence in that shot than he did earlier in the year. And he's gotten the Knights even at 23. Deep on the perimeter, they work it now for Washington, for the Purple Knights in purple. Now they go up top, pass it around into the right corner and down low and quickly switch it out to Stennis, open for a 3, and he clanged that one off the front rim, and the rebound is grabbed in by the Knights. And Queens will bring it up court with a tie game. We're tied at 23. Tull playing with Martin Singleton. There's Singleton cutting into the lane. There's a bit of contact. They're going to call the foul on Bridgeport. Pushing foul will be called. Tull, Simmons, and Singleton is going to the line up front with the backcourt of Lacayo and Alcott. That's a 1-and-1 situation for Martin Singleton as they called number 2 on Jermaine Washington. And the first of a 1-and-1 is no good. Off to the left of the rim and would not drop. And now Bridgeport works it up very quickly. They go along the baseline with it all the way down. The baseline sliding down was Frazier, but he turned it over.
Looked like Frazier stepped on the line on the baseline over there.
Too quick for himself almost. 6:54 to go. Knights, of course, want to transport that right up to Lacayo. He takes his time with a lot of time on that shot clock. And nowhere to hurry except to set up the offense. They go into the left corner to Lacayo. Lacayo looking for the motion offense to work. And then they pass it over to Alicott. Alicott finds a man wide open ahead of the keys. Singleton can't hit it on his jump shot. Rebound rescued by Simmons, who goes inside and scores. I call him Mr. Highlight sometimes. Here's a jumper right side. Frazier right back. You didn't think he was going to let that go uncontested, did you? 25-25. I call Simmons Mr. Highlight. I even told him that after practice one time. Big smile came to his face. Here's Alicott. Pass it on the right side. They come out to Alicott again. Alicott looking, gives it over to Lacayo. 16 to shoot. Simmons trying to set a screen. Bridgeport playing very sticky defense, and they force Singleton to knock over the defensive player.
Great job on defense by Marquise Moore. Really
getting through the screens.
Getting through the screens and then drawing the charge.
You're going to work against that motion offense and the screens that the Knights set up. You have to be on your game. The game becomes a defensive struggle sometimes.
Yeah, well, they say the old cliche, defense wins championships.
It certainly does. They feel that way here at Queens, I'll tell you that. Here's Jermaine Washington in the front court. Jermaine on the sideline, double team, then the ball stolen away off the double team by Lacayo. You want to get two easy ones, and Simmons puts it home. Now the Knights take a 27-25 lead, but they do not get back, and finally they cut off Stennis, and they force Stennis to turn the ball over with a push-off. They got back at the very last moment and stopped him from laying that ball in, Teairez Stennis. Stennis is in the game right now with Lee Frazier. And they've brought in the guy I said made a beautiful pass before, Marquise Moore. Working with Jermaine Washington also. And Sam Getaway for Bridgeport. Outside, this is Marquise Moore trying to guard the Knight player, and they wanted a timeout, but they turned the ball over. The Knights wanted a timeout, but did not get it. So the ball goes over to Bridgeport. They'll come out of the backcourt with it. Here's Jermaine Washington. 27-25, Queens ahead. 4:55 to go. First half from Queens. Joe Massey, John Cerence with you. Stennis was backing in, and the Knight player guarding him pushed off to try to hold him out. Terrell Simmons with his first. That'll put the Knights over the limit, and it'll give Stennis a 1-and-1.
Stennis comes into today's game with shooting 69% from the charity stripe.
Well, if he can get that up, he might be averaging a bit more. His first one is up and good. 27-26. You can improve your free throw shooting if you work on it, enough anyway. Here's the second. No good off the front rim. And his second try at it after he got the rebound and he put it home. And that gives them a 28-27 lead.
Or you could just do that.
Well, you can't really teach that either. That's ability too. And
you get 3 points that way.
Yeah. 28-27. Here's Alicott going to the left side. And the foul committed. As Jermaine Washington actually tried to beat him to the spot he was headed to and reached out. Finally, when he couldn't do it, committed the foul. You can't teach anyone to do that, but you can teach players to box out so that doesn't happen. And that's part of the game. Here's Alicott the other way. They're down by one. He gets a 1-and-1. First one is good. That's his first point, John. He's their leading scorer, Alicott, on the year. And you get the feeling, though, the Knights are playing a different type of basketball now. As Alicott hit his second, it's not going to really be a top scorer. It's going to be a conglomeration of everybody chipping in.
Well, they